Welcome back to the show. It's episode number 62, Truth or Theory podcast. JP,
Yeah, we're back.
what's up, brother?
Oh, another beautiful day, man. We're back.
Yeah, dude, I really want to get these stickers out. We ordered a bunch of stickers. I ordered them a little too small. I talked to Monica Perez from the Propaganda Report and used her company, and I wanted to get the kind that she has that are about the size of a palm of your hand. I guess was a 4 inches. I got the 2 inch ones. So, story of my life, I fell short by inches. So I want to get these out to people. We'll send them in an envelope. If you want a sticker, I'll send it to you for free. Just email me, truthertheorypodcast@gmail.com. And these are really detailed, cool stickers you can put on all kinds of electronics, lockers, whatever the hell you want to put it on.
Yeah.
Support your favorite podcast.
Yeah.
So, JP. Oh, one other thing, brother. We might do one more apparel order before the year's up. I know some of you people are dying to have a hoodie, Truth or Theory hoodie for Christmas, which I don't blame you.
I don't even have a hoodie.
I don't either, man. But but I got the shirt.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Hats?
You want a hat, a shirt, a hoodie? Let me know. If I can get a decent amount of people wanting it, we'll make another order before the year's up.
Yep.
Otherwise, we will wait to the next season of springtime, maybe.
Absolutely.
What you been up to, man? You been digging around on YouTube?
I have been digging around on YouTube a lot. Been coming across some guests.
Some guests.
Man.
Who you finding, bro?
I feel it that we might have somebody tonight.
Who you want, bro? I've been practicing remote viewing. Let me know, and I'll try to channel him right now.
Let's talk to Dave. And
Dave
he is with
Generation Z? Dave?
Generation Z,
dude.
Dave.
I heard of this cat. He's very
Hold
informative.
on, guys. Thank you for having me.
Welcome to the podcast, Dave. So first things first, brother. What's the deal with the name? Is Zed your stage last name like our silly names, or is it a real name? What is it, man?
Trying to bring the information that I'm presenting to the Generation Z, literally.
Mm-hmm.
That was the simple concept behind it. It turns out that people, even millennials, people of all ages, have been checking it out, and so it's been great. The intention was to focus on people, particularly that were much younger, because they're not as, I guess we could say, contaminated, if you want to call it, mentally.
Yeah.
Not to say that I'm the only guy telling the truth out there. I mean, of course, there's really good gentlemen like yourselves and all that, but I felt like it was too distorted, and I felt like I had to kind of just put it all in one place. I kind of just made what I wanted to see, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Dude, you, like JP was telling before we started recording, you were pumping out some content, man. I'm new to your channel. JP's been watching you a little bit longer, and he found you for us. But man, I looked today, and you already had like 3 new ones out. I was like, Jesus, this guy's a machine.
Well, I guess we can sadly or fortunately thank COVID for that, to tell you the truth. But
yeah,
it's a political commentary in the morning, and then afternoon, evening is the more popular episodes, the actual theories and all that everyone likes.
So is your show on just YouTube, or are you on all the podcast platforms as well?
I'm on Spotify and Apple Podcasts as well.
Oh, okay, cool. Well, go subscribe to his YouTube channel and all the other either iTunes or Spotify, and give him an iTunes review. Give us an iTunes review. It goes a long way. We really appreciate it.
Yeah.
And this episode is sponsored by Mysterious Beer, because they won't sponsor us. We're in Colorado, man. It's full of breweries out here, and I've been reaching out to different breweries to get a sponsor, because JP and I like to have a little drink while we record.
Yeah.
Nice.
I haven't heard back from anybody yet. So if you want to be a sponsor, Colorado brewery companies, let us know. We'll make it happen.
Yep.
We'll drink your beer.
Oh, yeah.
We'll plug it. I'll tell you what beer I'm drinking right now. It's none of your business, people. So what got you into this truth seeker mindset, Dave?
Well, not my whole life. The last, I'd say 5 to 10 years, things started looking to me like something. I just had this intuition, this gut feeling whenever I'd turn on the news or what have you. Not to say that they're always wrong or inaccurate, but the way that they manipulate headlines and things like that is what really started to make me say, like, okay. And then a couple of years went by, so probably went from 2010 to 2012. At that point, the internet was obviously booming, but I mean, in terms of being able to present this kind of content out there, you didn't have too many people that did it. And I was very young at the time, so I just kind of gave up on it. And then over time, I'd say probably 2015, 2016, I realized that how manipulated a lot of the headlines are within the mainstream media. It doesn't have to be political, just in general.
Yeah.
And then yeah, pretty much a few years went by, kind of let it go, and now I'm here. There was really no major event. It was just kind of like, I want to make something that I would want to watch as well. And the thing was that there was so many different pieces of content all over the internet and YouTube, but I wanted to just condense it into one place. I wanted to be able to do it so that if someone went on my channel for one video that they saw for the first time, they can then go to the next video or the one after. And even if they weren't interested or they didn't think they were, they then became interested.
Yeah.
Right. That was the whole idea behind it.
Oh, dude, it definitely works, because the first video I seen on yours, I was searching actually the monolith stuff that's going around. And I came across your video, and it, tied back to the Nephilims.
Right.
I'm like, what? Like, hold on.
You went down the rabbit hole.
I went down the rabbit hole right there after I watched that one. I was like, what else has he got? And I started going down. I'm like, holy smokes, this is a lot.
I appreciate it, believe it or not, and I say this because I'm all for free speech and speaking freely. That was probably one of the biggest, the way in which I presented it was probably one of the biggest mistakes I ever made so far, because of the fact that I didn't directly say that the footage or the screenshots I was presenting were meant to imply just for people to visualize. And so people thought, and as well as other people who never even saw my channel before, they thought that I was convinced that that was the footage.
Yeah.
But those were just two Russian models, right? So I kind of got
some
some
comments, and I seen that. I was like, these guys are grilling him. I'm like, he's
and then because I'm looking,
these are them.
Yeah, because a few hours go by, and then I check my phone, and I'm getting ripped on, and I'm going, I get ripped on here and there. Everybody does, but not like this. Right. So then I check it out, and I realize people think that I believe that was I'm like, oh my God. So yeah, that was. I appreciate that you reached out despite that. So thank you for that.
And I read your disclaimer, and you don't claim any of that stuff to be,
No, for me, it's more about, right, exactly. I try to mention as much as I can that it's meant to be thought provoking. Mm-hmm. Now, I'm not going to blatantly lie to people, but at the same time, there's a lot of things that I can't confirm myself. I'm not going to sit here and say that I can confirm it, right? When I can't. Certain things I honestly could. Other people can too. Certain things I look into more. I try to actually give like phone calls and emails to certain people. Some of them reply saying they don't want to discuss it, which actually makes it more interesting in some cases. Even today, for example, today's episode with the golden blood, out of the 43 people in the world, at least that we know of, that have this type of blood, I was able to get a hold of 3 of those people's contact information, and 2 out of the 3 didn't even answer, and the 3rd one said they don't want to talk about it. And then the guy said to me, he said he heard that people with his similar blood type are being kidnapped and things like that. And so I started digging more into it. Yeah. So I started digging even more into it and found out this isn't the first time it's happened either. There's been at least 7 other kidnappings with that same blood type. Now, again, can I confirm it's because of their blood? No. But at the same time, you gotta put the timeline together. When you realize certain things pop up, it's like, okay, come on, right?
Yeah.
What is your opinion on like blood drives, the blood donations? Do you think that stuff's legit, or you think there's some shady shit behind that?
Okay, now we're going down the rabbit hole right away. I like this. Okay, the thing with the blood drives is I haven't done a lot of research into it, and I'm not going to say that I have when I haven't, but I've found that with a lot of these blood drives, the behaviors of some of the routes in which they go and take it to certain labs or whatever it is, certain facilities, are a little bit odd. Now, certain people have mentioned, people that used to work for blood drives. I know a gentleman, myself, he's a friend of mine. I believe he's from North Carolina. He said he notices some odd things with certain packets being displaced, but nothing substantial, but enough that whatever it's going to, it's clearly some type of unethical experiment or something out on the books.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Damn, that's great. Yeah. I've always had a weird feeling about the blood donation stuff. I have a rare blood type, and I used to get contacted all the time. So I eventually just started pushing back and saying I have a medical condition. I can't donate blood, so get the hell off me. If I bleed out, then you can have it. But I just don't trust it, man. I get a bad feeling about it. It just makes it easy. I
Yeah,
just don't
no,
see like how you can have all this blood going to one these areas and it's being treated respectfully and there's some honesty behind it. It just seems really creepy.
I mean, this kind of ties in with the whole thing that, do I believe personally that that the whole world or all world governments are in on some big thing? No, I believe there may be some factions of different sizes of certain, I guess we could say, members, individuals, whatever you want to call it,
Mm-hmm.
that are involved in certain things and they've been given access to stuff. But again, to say that it's all interconnected, no. So to say that every blood drive something's going on, I personally, I highly doubt it. I could be totally wrong, but I mean, but those little odd factoids that kind of just pop out, those are the things that you got to look for. I mean, not you guys. You guys know what you're doing. I'm just saying in general, right? So
Right.
yeah.
And the thing that really gets me is like when like all these organizations that are supposed to be for good, like
Mm.
the Boys and Girls Clubs or the adoption agencies, things like that, and then you find out that they're like really, it's like a front to kidnap people and
Trafficking and all
it's
that.
things
Yeah.
like that just like makes me not want to trust anybody or anything.
Yeah.
It's hard to, I don't know, it's hard to.
Well, no, 100%. If you look at, I think it was today or yesterday, an ex-Republican, a former Republican, was arrested and sentenced for child, I think it was sex trafficking, something like that. And I know that's a touchy subject, especially nowadays and all that. But again, if we don't talk about it, then who will?
Yeah.
Yeah, we have to.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We are
yeah.
we are the news now, man. We're guys like us, guys like you, putting all the time into putting your content out. We're the only place you can actually trust because it's unbiased.
Yeah.
Everything
Well, yeah,
else is corrupted now. So
exactly.
weirdos like JP and I to find out what's going on when we get these guests on.
It tells you something when people think of you guys, myself, as weirdos, and the anchors on CNN and MSNBC and those guys as normal, so to speak. Not to shit on them, you know what I mean? But
Let's
Right.
shit on them.
that's
I don't like them. I don't trust any of them. Do it live. Well, do it live, damn it.
all right. Fuck it, we'll do it live.
Yeah.
They're all shady fucks, man. I don't trust any of them. None of those networks.
They're into some weird shit. Some of them, man. They're
Yeah.
into some weird stuff. Like, I mean, and that's why when certain people subscribe to a lot of the I guess we could call them extreme theories nowadays, I don't blame them, because for so many years they've been taught that these anchors, these people, the front end of it are so clean and nice and this and that. And obviously no one's perfect, but at the same time, you find out like so many, like, okay, I'll bring this up if you guys want to jump at Epstein, for example.
Oh yeah.
Man, I don't even know where to start. That's why, like, I'm stuttering with my words. Guys like him who were hiding in plain sight for how long?
Mhm.
It was like someone by the name, I don't know if you guys heard of him. His name's Eric Weinstein.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah,
Um,
definitely.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I think he describes it perfectly. We as a society stumbled upon some kind of construct, whether Epstein was some type of, he was really running a blackmail ring through the Mossad or the CIA, or maybe both as a joint operation, who knows? But something was really fishy about that whole thing. Not just him as a person, even though people said he was very odd and mysterious, but something about the way in which he just behaved and moved and where his money came from. And then that judge got shot a, a handful of months ago, a federal judge that was looking into that whole case.
Yeah.
Sorry, she didn't get shot. Some of her family members were shot, and then her house was shot at. I mean, the guy's supposedly dead and still things are being haunted. That just tells me that whatever's happening here, people on both sides, Republican and Democrat, don't want certain things coming out.
Oh yeah.
That's
Yeah, it's definitely it's definitely a shitload of corruption on both sides. There's no innocent party at all. They're all corrupted in my book. I think the Bush family is some of the worst people that's ever been in the United States. Are you a citizen of the U.S.? I don't even know your background or anything, man.
from Toronto, live in Toronto, but
Oh, okay.
I go to and from all the time. So
Awesome. So
yeah.
okay. You might be our first Canadian guest, man.
Oh, nice. Thanks.
What's your opinion on the U.S. as a whole? Because
Oh,
that's all I know.
you guys are fantastic. I always say all the time, and the only reason why Canada is taken seriously and nobody touches us is because of you guys. And I'm not saying that to kiss your guys' asses, whatever. It's the truth, right? And I mean, don't get me wrong, there's certain things that people will disagree with or what have you, but I don't see any issues. I really like the fact that you guys have sort of a state by state system, so that if you don't like something in one state, you can head on over to another state, whether it's drugs, taxes,
definitely.
whatever. So
Okay.
I'm a big fan of that. If I had the money, I'd probably be in Arizona right now.
Dude, it makes sense that you're Canadian now that I think about it, because I've been telling JP, I've been working with you on getting an episode booked and everything. I was like,
Right.
man, this guy is so professional and nice. He's so polite about everything. I work with a lot of different people. I have 2 different podcasts, and I work with a lot of different people
Oh,
in
nice,
booking.
nice.
And man, Jesus, you are a breath of fresh air when it comes to booking, man.
Thanks. I
Canadian
get that.
politeness.
Some people have asked me, "You Canadian?" I said, "Yeah." How do you know? Like, can you tell my voice? They're like, "No, just the way you speak." I'm like, "Oh, okay."
And I could pick up the accent a little bit. We
Yeah,
spent some time in North Dakota, and it kind of some guys have the similar, just with some of the
Yeah,
words,
yeah. I thought I was gonna predict that you were like from North Minnesota, or maybe possibly the east side of North Dakota.
Yeah.
But
no,
Canada, that makes
to
sense.
tell you the truth, I wish. I mean, I like it here, but I like it better there.
Yeah.
So,
Come on over, man. You're welcome.
thank you, thank you, thank you.
Yeah, the states are something, man. I don't know. Some days I hate the U.S. just because I feel like we're somewhat of like world bullies and just corrupt, and
Yeah.
we don't care about our own people and this and that. But at the same time, it's
You know what, man? Something I realized too a long time ago. I'm sure you guys know as well. I was watching. Well, I didn't realize it at the time. I always knew it, but it reaffirmed it for me. Have you seen Sicario #2?
Oh yeah.
Remember the not the opening scene, the second or third, when Josh Brolin's character interrogates the guy from the Somalian from the Gulf of Somalia?
Uh-huh.
Someone wrote in the comments, I was just watching that scene quickly on YouTube. Someone wrote in the comments, they said, "This is what it looks like to fight for freedom," something along those lines. Pretty much saying that there's no such thing as being able to be entirely truthful and pure and innocent,
oh yeah.
especially when you're trying to protect a group or a country or whatever, right? And that's what got me interested in doing the show too, because that's where the irony lies. Like, where do you find that balance? Where do you find that balance between, I mean, even if we throw morals out the window, it gets to a point like, okay, how many wars should be involved for legit reasons, and then other reasons just to justify certain political agendas that we don't know about,
Right.
right?
A good point. Yeah. It's interesting. I know JP, you got a few things that you wanted to pick his brain on for sure.
Yeah, I kind of want to get into
Let's
weird
go into
stuff.
those.
I don't want to get into the weird stuff. Let's
Sure.
talk about maybe a little more elaboration on old boy that accidentally time traveled when he was on his way to Japan.
Okay, so this is
That's an interesting story to me.
okay. So apparently this is what occurred, and what not literally scares me, but what piques my interest is the fact that when no country, institution, group, airport, hotel will confirm anything, will comment on anything, even from the 60s, 70s, 80s, it tells you something. And the timing of a lot of these incidences seem to line up directly with certain things like the Montauk Project, or let's say not the Philadelphia experiment. That was way before that. But you see where I'm going with this, right? And it's almost as if there's still to this day some type of experimentation that occurs that we don't know about, at least publicly, and whether or not that's through the underground military bases or it's something that's coming through the airwaves, it's hard to say. But this guy in particular, this time traveling guy, I would dare to say he got stuck in some type of overlapping timeline or some type of alternate reality.
Damn.
And the thing is I wouldn't rule it out, just because when you look at some of the evidence that is on the legit side of things that can actually be fully proven, you say, why are these things here? And what I mean by that is this. So this is what I'll give you guys a little hint for an upcoming episode. There's a specific bill, and it's a federal bill that was passed by Congress. I believe it was 1969, but don't quote me on that. It said that no American citizen is allowed to interact with any type of extraterrestrial or engage with any type of UFO craft. They cannot go on the craft, they cannot board it, they cannot come near it. So my thing is this: why in God's name is that even a law if everything they're saying is fake, doesn't exist?
Yeah.
It's as simple as that. I mean, are you making laws for in case something happens? Why 1969 of all years? Why, you know what I mean? And it's almost like I feel like the late 60s, early 70s was around the time when they were, I guess, ramping up their experiments, particularly within the underground bases. And I feel like, to go back to your question, JP, the time traveling guy or the alternate reality guy may have been someone that was unintentionally caught in between all that. Whether it was through an experiment, who knows? But again, it seems like the 60s, the 70s was a time when events were more sporadic. A lot of more mistakes were being made. And I feel like that was a time when the government was still trying to figure out how to properly cover things up.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, like they were working on it and like, okay, we have to test this. Whoops,
Right.
let's put these laws into place just in case we goof it.
Exactly. And that's another thing. I don't need to keep going on, but that's another thing. The thing I try to relay, the message I try to relay, but it's hard for me because I'm trying to cover certain subjects each episode, is that the people that are in that have knowledge of this kind of stuff, they're human, just like you guys are, just like I am. And so the whole thing is this: sure, some people are smarter than others, but at the end of the day, everyone's got the same, I mean, physical brain and all that. So what do you do to cover things up? There's many different ways. You hide it in plain sight, you ridicule it, you take real photos, for example, of UFOs, or in some cases allegedly real grays and Nordic blondes. You put them on the tabloids of the magazine covers,
Yeah.
the real pictures, but then because it's on a tabloid that's known for sensationalistic titles,
Damn, dude.
Right. This is the
you know what I
ending
mean?
or something.
You hide
Yeah.
it right in plain sight.
Yeah, that makes
That's
sense,
one,
man.
that's one of many ways. Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah.
Reminds me of the Men in Black when they go and check the tabloids.
Exactly.
Like, what is this? This is
Exactly.
and he's like, this is the hot stuff right here.
Exactly. Yeah, that's exactly what it reminds me of. Wow,
Exactly.
that's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it goes into, yeah, it's nuts. It's nuts.
So
And yeah.
to get into your, like, I don't want to give away all your secrets of how you do this, but I'm just fascinated how you can put out so much content. Like, you get like an idea of something you want to dive into, you just start researching the hell out of it, and then you come up with your plan for your episode.
Right. So in my whole life, I've always been someone that just in my spare time, pulling things up, researching things, whether it was technology, conspiracy, science, politics. And at the end of the day, they all kind of intertwine, they all kind of connect. And so it wasn't that hard for me to pull things up and realize, wait a minute, this timeline matches with this timeline matches with that. Now, the things that I can't prove, I always say, take this with a grain of salt, right? Because I'm not here to try to jam something into your guys' heads and say, this is how it is. I want to engage in open discussion. I encourage people to correct me if I'm wrong in the comments of my videos and things like that, right? And so when I look at all that, I basically sit down and I record 3, 4, 5 episodes in one shot, because when I get going, it's very similar to the conversation we're having right now. My mind starts winding up. And
You were
then,
made for this, man. That's awesome.
thank you. But my mind just starts winding up, and then I go, okay, one episode, okay, I'll do another one, then another one. Next thing you know, half the day's gone. So
yeah.
Yeah.
I see a lot of good, cool shit in your future, man. You're gonna get put on a lot of big podcasts too.
Thank you. I hope for you guys.
Is gonna grab you soon.
I certainly hope not. I'll tell you right now. And speaking of which, that's another thing too. I wanted to ask you guys, what do you guys think of the whole thing of Spotify seeming like they're trying to buy up all the middle to big size podcasts? I mean, for example, I guess Joe Rogan, he signed his deal. That's I guess maybe that's a little different, but like Joe Budden, he got offered a Spotify deal. He turned it down. What do you guys think of that? Because there's a theory out there that they're trying to now control the podcast world. They're trying to get a grasp on it.
Yeah, so I never thought of it that way. That's really, really interesting.
Mm.
I've never heard of this Joe Rogan guy you mentioned, but I was looking into it for my own podcast, and then this podcast to see if we have another option to start releasing videos in case YouTube kicks us. Because so much work goes into it, as you know. I don't want it to just get booted and lose it all. But I didn't think about that. There's some shady shit going on, huh?
Well, you know what? I'm not like personally. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not concerned for channels like myself. At least not yet. I mean, knock on wood. Hopefully it grows. But I kind of figured if it comes to that, then you've made it in life, right? So at
Yeah,
that point,
definitely.
if Spotify calls you, you're doing all right.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
So,
I think it's just like with anything else. Like, how do you control the media? And like you said, we're putting out the real content. So if you buy up these, I'm sure it's in the small print. If you
yeah,
mention such and such, or if we don't agree with what you're talking about, we can censor it.
It really seems like the Joe Rogan podcast, ever since he switched to Spotify, that they are anchoring down a little tighter on like, hey, if you're gonna say that, let's back it up a little bit more. And when he had Alex Jones on, he made him. They fact checked the shit out of everything he said.
did you see that? I'm not gonna lie, I didn't like that. And I'm not saying
No,
that
I hate it. Yeah, it's
not
irritating.
because he was gonna fact check him. I don't mind, but like if you're gonna do that, bring in a separate guy. In my opinion, bring in a
Yeah.
separate guy with like a monitor behind him. Have him like bring in a second like Jamie, for example, just for that episode. Have him search stuff up as they're talking because you ruin the flow of the conversation.
Absolutely. That's such a good point, man.
Right, and that's the thing.
Dax Shepard has a very popular podcast called Armchair Expert, and I used to listen to it regularly until he had Bill Gates on. And I was like, "Fuck this guy, I'm done with him." But he has a segment at the end of his show where his little sidekick chick who helps the show, she goes and does like a fact check point, and they got to pick up all the little points that was mentioned that was wrong, and they kind of just make it a fun little gimmick for about 15 minutes. If Rogan and them want to do that with him and Jamie, that would be cool. Make it like a little post show. But he needs to stop with all that crap. He's going to lose people with all that nitpicking
if I can
crap.
be honest, and I don't mean to. I really like Rogan. I mean, I guess who doesn't? But ultimately, when I look at that, I say, okay, like the Alex Jones and Tim Dillon thing, I could see why. For example, not that I guess maybe Joe cares. I don't know if he does or not, but I could see why that episode with Alex Jones didn't get nearly as many views as the one with Eddie Bravo and Alex Jones a year and a half ago. Now, don't get me wrong, it's still millions of views, but I mean, this recent one where they fact checked him, I think it was like 12 or 13 million views. The one with Eddie Bravo was like almost 30 million. So
I think it is over 30. I think it's like 34 now.
Right. So it kind of split in half, and it kind of made me think like, holy shit, like the whole point of Rogan moving to Spotify, at least that what he was saying in the beginning was more freedom.
Right.
Yeah.
And so
and that's the way it should be, especially at his level.
Exactly.
I'm glad you brought up Rogan too. I got to call him. He's supposed to have us on in a couple weeks. We got to cancel due to the holiday traffic. Yeah.
Oh man. And that's speaking of which, by the way, if I could I wanted to bring something up quickly to add to that. What's ironic about this is that Rogan's the one everyone goes to. And I like the fact that they do for the open conversation, open discussion. And then ironically, if you look at, for example, I think it was NBC, I don't remember who it was. They had Bill Gates on a couple of days ago, and he said something completely incorrect. They didn't fact check him at all. Meanwhile, Rogan's got a fact check. You know what I mean? It's like,
Rogan, a comedian who has a podcast. Like, what the hell?
Exactly.
The guy should be able to just free speech. And just if you have a problem with it, don't listen to the show or fact check it on your own and bitch about it in the comments.
Exactly, and that's another thing. And I don't mean to get into this right now if you guys don't want to, but
it, bro. Do it.
The thing with the interview with Bill Gates a couple nights ago was that it was a very simple question. I think it was NBC. I don't remember. They go, Mr. Gates, we're noticing that the Moderna vaccine specifically it works on the people that they've been testing it on. But the problem is each and every one of them have had vomiting, high fevers, and like I think it was like diarrhea, a bunch of other shit after that. And it was like he didn't know what to say. It's like that question caught him off guard. So a few things. Number one, this tells me guaranteed the interviews are pre-planned without a shadow of a doubt. He didn't see that coming whatsoever. Secondly, I would have asked him if I was the interviewer. And I mean, I probably would have gotten fired for this on a mainstream channel.
Probably killed.
Yeah, maybe. I would say I'd ask him all the COVID questions.
Unfortunate accident the next week.
Yeah. Car crash a week later, right? That's how it goes. Yeah. I would ask him all the basic questions I need to. And then I would say, can I ask why you donated money on behalf of Epstein after he got out of jail, after he got convicted of a sex offender thing? Can I ask why your publicist made a statement and not you directly? Like, why is it that they're shielded from all these questions?
Yeah, it's complete bullshit, man. It drives
exactly,
me insane.
They're shielded from these questions. Then Rogan's got to fact check Alex Jones.
Yeah.
And I believe, if from my memory, Jones was right, I think like 95% of the time
Yeah,
on
that
that
was
episode.
a great part about it. He
It,
kept
it,
proving them wrong. They were wasting time doing that, and then he would be like, "Come on, yeah, you're right. Okay, let's keep going."
amen, man. That was the best part about it. Like, it was
Yeah.
almost like they had him on the whole time. It was like, what the hell are we doing here? I was like an hour in. I'm like, okay, what are they checking? Like, you know?
No, like you said, it kills the flow, man. It's so stupid.
Oh yeah.
Rogan knows better too. I think there's something else going on behind the scenes with Spotify.
I
Probably
don't know if he's
Puppet strings.
I don't know if that 100 million's at risk if he starts, messing around in ways that Spotify doesn't want. I don't know. Honestly, like,
Yeah.
that's the thing. So
I predict Joe Rogan is going to be doing a lot of really big things in 2021 as far as the Austin, Texas area. I think he is probably going to use I don't know what his contract is terms wise and the longevity of it, but I think he's going to end up bailing on them too and end up doing his own network system with all his whole posse.
that's
My prediction.
that's a great idea. And that's another thing too. Did you guys hear when he first moved, or when the episode started going on Spotify a few months ago, that certain episodes were not showing up?
Yeah, all the controversial ones in the past.
Controversial ones,
All the
yeah,
ones with like anyone that had any weight to it that was like, oh, that's one you got to listen to. Well, let's go and get rid of that one.
Exactly. Did you guys happen to see the one with Michaela Peterson?
Yeah, Jordan Peterson's daughter.
Yes, yeah,
Yeah.
Jordan Peterson's, okay, yeah. So
Yeah, I love her. She's cool.
she's cool. So what ended up happening was I looked at that and I said, her. And then I realized something. She's encouraging diets, like all meat diets,
Yeah,
like
carnivore
that
diet.
carnivore diet and all that. And I've never tried it myself. I know people that have, and they all say the same thing. It's a motherfucker the first couple weeks, but
Yeah,
then
you go
after,
through like a flu.
you feel shit, your bones are aching, but then apparently after that, like 12th, 13th day, you start to, all the diarrhea goes away, all that stuff. Like Rogan even said he lost like 10 pounds or whatever it was. But the point is that I look at that and I go, why was Spotify having trouble putting her episode on their thing? And then I rewatched a little bit and I go, wait, the carnivore diet completely goes against what the mainstream media is pushing in terms of exercise and diet. Number one. Number two, look at who her father is, right? I personally,
He's
I
got
love
crosshairs on him for sure, man.
Oh, that guy. Did you hear about his book, his second book the other day?
No, I didn't.
People here in Toronto, he's publishing with Random House publisher for his book. They're all protesting because they don't want to help work on the back end. The regular office workers at Random House are all striking because they don't want it published.
Wow.
Really?
Like, are you kidding me? Like,
Yeah, anytime I hear that all that kind of stuff to me just puts up flags and makes me want to dig into it more because you're trying to take it away from us. You're just going to drive us to it. It's like a racist dad trying to keep his daughter from a black man later on. It's like, I'm going to find me a black man now.
Yeah, exactly.
You push people away and make them feel like there's something you can't have, and everybody's going to want to have it. Anybody that has any sense, they're going to want to dig in there and open that box up, see what the hell is being hidden.
And that's another thing too. I mean, I know I'm going all over the place, but
it's fun, man. Let's do it.
The way in which there's this whole thing now about how, like, politically it's Trump versus the rest of the country or whatever is going on, right? I don't blame a lot of those people because they've been lied to. You guys, being one of them, been lied to, but not by everyone, but by most of them for so many years that when he came in, he was relatable, and I'm not for him. I'm not against him. The thing is with him is that I think he's done a lot of good stuff. I think I said this on my show before. I think he's done stuff where he's fucked up, but so has everybody else.
Right.
And it's like, I look at that and I go, let's just say worst case, he's a terrible leader. Let's just say he still would have won, because look at the mainstream media and all these traditional politics. They're pushing people like you guys and myself. So we got no other choice, So whether Trump actually does things or not when he got in, it doesn't matter. It was kind of just a breath of fresh air that, a politician, like a career politician, like Hillary or Bush, another Bush, didn't get in.
Or Mitt Romney, any of those guys.
Exactly. Yeah. It's like
I'm
when
completely with you on that, man. That's exactly how I feel about it. He's just a different kind of bad, which is not horrible, but he's just he's not a career politician, but he's a tycoon businessman who's got his own skeletons
Right.
in the closet, but it's not the same con that we're used to, which is not what they're used to either, because he's not
And
playing on
I
their same
think that's
ball.
what exactly, and I think that's what makes him shameless as well.
Mhm.
Because does he have skeletons in his closet? Yeah, but I don't think they're the skeletons that the career politicians have.
Yeah,
Honestly, man,
I
that's
think he's a creep in a lot of ways when it comes to with like women, but I do not get a vibe about him being a pedophile, and I get that vibe big time with
yeah.
a lot of other politicians. Like they just don't trust.
jail.
Yeah,
I feel like
oh yeah,
there comes
Biden for sure.
yeah there comes a point where it's kind of like, I feel like in general, when you have a certain amount of power or a certain amount of money, and I'm not saying Trump, I'm just saying in general, um I feel like you get bored, you know? You've done all the drugs and stuff and you've done all those things, and so what's next? Sex. And then what happens when you're bored of banging whatever, the having sex with adult
Normal
women?
people.
Yeah, yeah, people your age or around your age, right? And then what do? You go to younger, more vulnerable girls. I guess they get a thrill out of it. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's you that brought that up in the past. Huh,
Yeah.
about it's like they can get everything else, so let's go to the one thing that's we're not supposed to have, the forbidden fruit, and let's
Right,
be bad and test our
right,
evil.
Or even like in today's
exactly.
world, like things have just gone so far now. Like I don't know, it's just nothing's normal anymore. People all
Yeah.
want to do the craziest, dirtiest
Right.
stuff. I
Man,
mean,
this is something very kind of off subject too, but I've been thinking about. YouTube hasn't been around that long, and
Mhm.
before YouTube, it was so hard to share crazy videos with you, like your buddies and shit. You see something weird, somebody did some stupid stunt, like before camera phones, before YouTube. Man, we get exposed on a daily basis to so much crazy shit. Like if
Yeah.
you look at us as like a tribal animal, like when we first started out as we're basically cavemen,
Mm.
we kind of learn as we go, burn our hand. Okay, fire's hot. You got to stay away from fire. You learn
Right.
from stupid mistakes and your family, your tight circle. We're learning from the whole world's mistakes on all kinds of different spectrums now, which is so bizarre. And like never in the history of in humankind have we had that kind of connection where we can learn from crazy shit constantly.
Exactly. And that's another thing too. I mean, I think the good outweighs the bad. I mean, I'd like to think so, but I mean, I can see why a lot of people start getting messed up mentally and stuff like that with mental health and those kind of things. Because, I mean, I've been hearing stories of, well, stories, news articles I've been reading of these young TikTok influencers
mhm.
like committing suicide and shit, and they're like 16, 17, and I'm like, man, these people were making tens if not hundreds of thousands a month, and still it just goes to show you, like, there it comes a certain point where it's kind of like the interconnection, the interconnectivity of the world. If you can't handle it, and it's fine if you can't, but if you can't handle it, I mean, I don't know what to say after that.
Yeah, it's a struggle, man. It's a new
Yeah,
struggle for mankind too. I
right.
don't know anything about TikTok. Is there a way to track like who's watching or likes and all that kind of stuff
I
on your
I don't
videos?
I don't have it myself. I have a few
Yeah,
friends that have it.
it shows views.
It shows views.
Yeah, it shows how many views you've had.
Oh yeah, it shows how many views, how many likes. The whole thing behind that was that, I don't know if you heard, China supposedly spying
Uh
using
huh.
TikTok.
Yeah,
I wouldn't rule it out, but
Yeah, it
yeah,
sounds legit.
yeah,
From what I heard about it, it sounds like something that I know it got Trump nervous too, and he was trying to ban it until somebody else in America or whatever bought it out and was a more of an honest company.
I think Microsoft and Walmart are trying to buy
Yeah,
it. Yeah,
that's
yeah.
great. Walmart's gonna buy everything, man. Is Walmart in Canada?
Oh, huge, huge,
Dude, they're gonna own everything.
big
They're
time,
gonna
big
sell caskets, all kinds of shit
this is
eventually,
turning
man.
into idiocracy.
what
Is
I
it?
what,
I've never seen that. I need to watch
You've
that.
never seen Idiocracy?
No.
Oh, plants love Gatorade.
oh
Is
man,
have you seen Idiocracy?
Idiocracy.
It's
Sounds
like based
familiar.
like in the future where like all these major companies just own everything. Like Walmart
Oh,
owns
dude,
everything.
that's real, man.
They water their plants with Gatorade because plants love Gatorade.
Oh, I gotta
Oh
watch that.
my
They're
god.
all idiots. Yeah, they're just so brain dead.
Holy shit. Oh, I wanted to ask you guys a question too, by the way. I heard, and I'm not sure, maybe because you guys are in, not in California, but I heard that they're not letting people go out to leave their houses as of today or yesterday, to even go for walks for anything.
That's in Los Angeles for sure. I don't know the extent of how far it goes, but
Sorry, the LA mayor, yeah.
yeah, Los Angeles, California has that law going on right now. I think they are probably the worst spot in the U.S. right now for all the COVID bullshit.
Well, you heard what he said that if they catch you having social gatherings even at your house, they'll shut your water off and they'll shut your electricity off.
Yeah.
To, like, punish you.
Yeah. Is that not a dictatorship or what?
Yeah.
It's abuse of power, man.
Water is like a global human right.
Right.
Whoa.
Yeah, exactly. So like the people who are already down on their luck because they're jobless and everything, because of, you know, everything shut down. So your food's going to spoil. They're going to charge you to get your electricity and water turned back on for the, you know, initial fee. It's a mess, man.
Holy shit. I didn't know about the water and electricity part of it.
Yeah. We'll send you the.
Yeah, I have the video. I'll send it to you
when you get a chance.
It's pretty interesting.
Please.
My family and my friends were going to have an intervention with me recently here with a big gathering because I eat too much pie and I'm getting fat. But now we can't do it because we can't have a gathering of more than whatever it is, 12 people. That's a terrible joke, guys. So I'm going to edit that out.
Wait, you said pot as in weed?
No, I meant pie. P-I-E.
Pie. Sorry, I thought you said pot. I was like, oh,
I'm on a cherry pie kick lately, man. Since Thanksgiving, I've been eating the hell out of cherry pie. But that's not why I'm fat. I was fat before that.
You don't look fat to me. I'll tell you right now.
Oh, thanks, brother. It's all natural.
It's
all in the gut. I got a Santa Claus nose and a Santa Claus gut.
Oh man, and then one thing too, going back to the LA thing. Actually, it just came to mind like 30 seconds ago. And I'm not trying to make up something that's not there, but why is it that the same time the LA mayor announces this, and this is probably not even, maybe I'm just connecting things that don't exist, but why is it he announces this, that federal marijuana bill just got passed a few hours ago, same time?
Ooh,
did that pass?
I did not know that.
They passed it, yeah.
Oh, wow. Last I heard was UN kind of pushed it down from a most dangerous drug, but that was the last I heard of it. So they actually passed it for federal?
Federally. Now, that's not to say, like, you know, in states like Texas or what have you, it's completely legal, but it's a step in the right direction. So when you hop on Twitter, all you see is Republicans and Democrats for the first time first time in probably almost a year, were able to pass a bill together. And this happened at the same time the LA mayor was making this announcement. So what I see, even people, I don't know if you heard of, I'm sure Ben Shapiro and those guys.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. I'm not trying to imply they're in on anything, but they're tweeting about that marijuana bill. Obviously, it's big news. A federal marijuana bill is obviously bigger news than LA going into, I guess you could say, a dictatorship kind of lockdown. I mean, LA is huge, but it's not the whole country, right? And so, I don't know. That just came into my head. Why the timing of those two things?
I don't like Ben Shapiro. I can't stand his voice, and I can't stand my own voice. But Ben Shapiro's voice just doesn't.
The only thing I listen to Ben Shapiro are his tweets, or read them. That's it. Yeah, I can't. I've got nothing against the guy. I'm not a big fan of his style, but I have to say I'm a fan of Tim Pool.
I don't know. I need to dig into him more. I don't know a whole lot about Tim Pool.
So I first knew about him from the podcast with Joe Rogan and Jack Dorsey, and Dorsey's lawyer. Jack Dorsey's the CEO of Twitter.
Right.
And Tim Pool, Joe Rogan brought Tim Pool on there because he knew that Tim knows a lot. And this guy, Tim Pool, destroyed them. Like, really? I mean,
I need to check that out.
Oh, I highly suggest. The whole conversation is phenomenal. It's about a year and a half old. He destroyed them. So what you have is you have Tim Pool, who people argue the guy's an intellectual, but he's actually a high school dropout. And he's ripping on the top lawyer from Twitter. Oh, yeah, me too. Yeah.
Found, brother.
Boom. He's ripping on, and he's putting them in corners. And that was the point of the conversation, right? I don't think they expected him to come out firing like he did. He's a different version of a Ben Shapiro, sort of, but nice. he's more aggressive.
Yeah, I like that. That's cool. I'm gonna check him out. We'll see if we can get him on the show.
Can I find it on Spotify?
That was probably pulled.
I just realized it's past December 1st, so he's only on Spotify now, right, Rogan?
Oh, did they pull his old library from YouTube as well?
I think so, and I think it's only his Clips channel that's still allowed.
Wow, that's
Interesting.
crazy. I
Yeah.
didn't think about that part of it.
Man, I can't believe he would even go for something like this because he's all about like I want to say what I want to say and I want to show what I want to show.
I feel like he's got a plan, man. I
And
feel
he's
like
like,
that's a huge payout. If he gets that payout, rides out that stupid contract, and then he does his own thing, because he's got a ton of comics that would jump on his bandwagon in a second.
Oh,
Alternative news guys, Alex Jones, Sam Tripoli, all these guys would jump on, and they could
Oh,
do
yeah.
their own network. And
he has his money. He has money for that.
yeah, but that's a lot of money. That Spotify money was crazy.
Yeah, that was
money.
that was
That's
I,
Spotify
that,
money.
That
that was a
Spotify
clean,
change, bro.
yeah, that was a clean 100 mil. And I mean, I don't know if you guys heard the jokes about him moving to Texas because the
Tax
lower
free.
taxes. Yeah.
Yeah, that was definitely a strategic move. That was not a
I saw a
random
comment.
coincidence.
It was like Joe, you know, when Joe quote elk meat Rogan or whatever. I
Yeah.
saw a comment. It was like Joe, I'm moving to Texas for the lower taxes, Rogan.
Yeah.
Something like that.
I can't blame him though, man. That's a smart move. Shit, I would
Yeah.
do it too.
No. Look, I don't blame the guy at all. If someone threw 100 mil in my face and I had to pay almost half of it in taxes or whatever, but then I could go, you know, to another town and pay 10, 15% of it.
Yeah.
Hey,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
a fun question, man. Let's say, since your channel's catching on fire right now and you're putting out really good content, let's say somebody came to you, somebody in suits, and they said, "Hey, Dave, we'll give you 100 mil. You stop all this shit right now. Make one new video. Say I was wrong about all this stuff. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. Been doing experimenting with drugs, and then kills the channel."
Okay,
Well,
so
take it.
I'll be totally truthful with you guys. So if it ever happens, you'll know the answer. If if and I appreciate that you even put me that high up, but thank you. If
We
I'm
have faith in you.
thank you. If I'm approached and that scenario comes to be, if I get a knock on my door over here and it's 2 or 3 men in black suits and the whole thing, they come to the table, they explain how it goes. If I ultimately feel there's a threat to my family, I'm not going to pretend to be the person that's going to stand up to all of it. I'll end up getting probably killed. I'll cave in. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to pretend to be this guy that's some kind of I'm fighting. I'm the first in line or what have you. Just because of the love of my family, I'll give in. I'll take the money and then shut up. I will not go on my show and say that I've been lying to everybody this whole time though.
Yeah.
That I won't do. I would say to them, listen, give me money, but I'm not going on the show to say that I lied this whole time. I can't do that.
So you found a loophole out of my second part of
Or-
the scenario.
okay.
I was gonna say, like, okay, now they did it. They gave you the money. They relocate you. You're going.
Yeah.
Got your money. Shut up. Bam. Then they kill you. Like, now he already announced himself. He's no longer credible, and then they take you out too. You never even get the money. That's scary, man. That's
If
scary.
they give me the money, I would demand, even though I don't have much power compared to them, any power, I demand the money first and then give it to my family. Then if I die after that, then fuck it. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
Good
Yeah.
answers, man. Noble
That's
man.
What about you guys? What would you guys
I've already
do?
been offered like 5 times, man. I've turned it down. This podcast is everything to me.
Nice.
No, I don't
Nice.
know, man. Man, I'm not a guy. I'm not a material kind of a guy at all. But I would love some stability to make sure my family's secure and safe. And
Exactly.
I don't think anybody holds any weight in anything I say anyway. So I'd be like, all right, cool. Where do I go? Where do I sign the check? Can I
Right.
pick what state I live in?
It's
I'm
like what Alex.
JP's been holding me hostage this whole time. I didn't even want to do this podcast.
I'm a secret agent.
Figured as much. Yeah.
What would you do, JP?
I mean, I would take the money. No, I mean, I have other interests. I could do a different podcast.
He
No,
starts
just,
up
like
The
theory or
question
truth.
is-
I'll just do straight live. So when people ask me questions, I'll do the Bieber and just be like blink once for yes or two for no.
Oh yeah.
Never heard of that.
There was an interview, not an interview. It was a U.S. general was captured. I don't know. It was years ago. I think it was the 50s, 60s. I don't know when. And this was when there were black and white cameras, not much sound, but they had it. They were torturing him. They had him captured. In that interview, he used the blinking of his eyes to use Morse code to
Damn.
yeah, because they were broadcasting it on live television to kind of show the world we've captured a U.S. general or whatever. He used Morse code to give the location away to the Pentagon, and he was successful. They got him like that.
That's awesome.
I would
Yeah.
never be able to do that, man. I have a bad problem with blinking constantly.
I can't remember. I
screw it
can't
up.
remember shit, man. I can't,
I
yeah,
think he said he wants French fries with that. I don't get
yeah,
it.
yeah,
No Morse code.
Yeah, there's that problem too. I don't know Morse code.
yeah. I mean, yeah, exactly. And if I did, I can't memorize stuff. I remember the weirdest things, but if you told me like, okay, on this piece of paper you got to memorize it, no, I can't do it.
My wife is incredible at numbers, man. She can remember a number. Like if you give her your credit card number, your social security number, your phone number from your childhood, she'll remember it for like 5 years later, no problem. I don't know how
Oh
she
no.
does it. Yeah, she's incredible with numbers.
Oh man, I was terrible with numbers, so bad.
I am too. I'm an idiot on everything, man. That's my thing.
Just here.
Just kind of coasting through life.
The only thing I was ever good at was English. That's it.
Yeah.
I'm not
That's
good at
it.
that either. I'm from Louisiana, man. I can barely speak.
You speak just great, man. So I don't know what you're
Thank
talking
Stop
about.
flirting with me. If we're sharing compliments, I'll give you a compliment. That beard is awesome, bro. You got a nice man's beard. It goes up your
Oh,
cheek.
thank you.
So jealous. Do you see this trashy white trash jeans I have? I can't even get my beard to grow up my cheeks, man. Sucks.
Hey,
That's
everyone's
just grow in the middle.
I got jawline, trailer park beard.
up until just recently, there would be like patches of like blank of just like skin. It was like,
What's the
fuck,
secret,
bro.
man? Give me some tips.
What's the secret?
Just better jeans than me. Just say it.
No.
I know how to do it. You gotta. The secret is to rub toilet paper on your face.
Toilet paper.
Someone told me a friend of mine back in high school used to use horseradish. He said it made it grow quicker.
Never heard of any of this shit. Are y'all messing with me?
Horseradish.
If you rub toilet paper on your face, how do you think you got so much hair on your ass?
Ah, that is a good point. I have a hairy ass. That's on our Patreon, though.
Oh man, this.
I'm pretty sure a Wookiee died somewhere around my butt crack, man, because it's pretty hairy down there.
Oh man, are you just curious? Are you an actual comedian?
No, man. If you think I am, I'm taking that shit as a compliment.
Oh shit! I thought like you would like you were
Dude,
someone
you
that.
don't know what you just did to my head, man. Now JP's not gonna better get out of here because my head's too big. No,
Oh man,
I had an actual comedian ask me that about last month or something on my other podcast, and I was like, "What? No,
Oh,
dude,
seriously?
I appreciate it.
Nice.
Yeah,
Well,
thank you.
I can tell you got it. You got it.
Thank
You have that flow there, but yeah.
Oh, I love you. So, you want to come on next week too?
Yeah.
Dude, I'm an egomaniac, bro. I love compliments. Ask this guy if anybody laughs in the room, I cup it in the air and I save it. So you're my new best friend, man. I have a lot of insecurities. I wasn't hugged enough as a child.
Oh shit. Oh, I grew up in a cardboard box as a child. It was terrible.
Really? I always tell my mom if I ever got rich, I'd get her the nicest cardboard box to live in. Pick the beach, you can lay it out, you can do whatever you want.
There was one time back in 2009 when Twitter was just getting popular, and I followed 50 Cent, and he tweeted this, and you could still find it. He goes, "My grandma's telling me to take out the garbage. I'm rich. Fuck this shit."
That's awesome. That's good shit.
Yeah.
Back in the MySpace days, you know who Tracy Morgan is, the comedian?
Yeah.
I had him. I contacted him and I asked him if he could put me in his top 8, and I put him in my top 8. And I told my brother. I don't know if my brother remembers this anymore, but I made it out like I knew Tracy Morgan, were friends, and he did it. He's like, "Yeah, I'll do it for you." I was like, "This dude's fucking cool as hell."
What, seriously?
Ever since then, I've loved Tracy Morgan, man. I'm pro Tracy Morgan.
No way. He did that for you.
Yeah, he did it for like a day. It wasn't long at all, but it was funny as shit.
Shit.
Yeah,
Wow.
he was cool as hell, man.
That's
So, me
awesome.
and Tracy go way back, man. Way back. Since
Are you fucking?
MySpace days.
Are you fucking with me? Or
No, I'm serious. It's real.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Holy fuck. Wow. What's
yeah, brother? I'm
what's you
big
up to
time, bro. I'm a comedian.
Shit.
Yeah, we'll be on Rogan, and what next month we're doing Rogan? Well, see how the weather looks.
You book them. I just show up.
Oh man.
All right, dude. We need to cut you loose. We're definitely gonna have you back on soon. We're gonna do the 6 questions with you. You
Sure.
are destined to be a reoccurring guest, man. Not just because of the compliments and you buttered me up, just because
Much appreciated.
Guy.
And you
It's
guys
so
as
much
well.
cool content to dive into. We barely even touched
Oh
the
yeah,
surface.
we did a lot of goofing around this episode, and it's been a blast.
Yeah, we love these kind of episodes. We've had a lot of heavy
You guys are
episodes
welcome
lately.
on. You guys are welcome on my thing anytime.
Cool, man.
Perfect,
Appreciate
thank
that. You ready for these 6 questions, brother? Really, really
Absolutely,
heavy.
absolutely.
You sitting down?
Yep, yeah.
Good. Okay. Number 1, you have the power to make one law. Which
Mhm.
law do you create and why?
Free speech,
Mm.
like real free speech.
Real free
I was gonna
speech.
say.
None of this. None of this.
Modified free speech?
Yeah, none of this modified. None of this. Twitter removed it because it's been the free speech. You know,
Yeah.
don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to say that like when people physically threaten someone on Facebook or Twitter, that's not right. But at the same time, I guess there's certain things that it's kind of like the censorship is too much now. So yeah, freedom of speech.
Dude, I didn't want to go into this, but since you said that, I'm going to say a little bit about it. We had a guest booked for next week. I'm not going to say who she is because I don't know her situation with it right now, but I was super excited to have her on. She's similar to you, a YouTube creator with really good content. She had to cancel because she's getting constant death threats and all kinds of trolls after her and stuff in her family.
Oh.
And that pisses me off so bad, man. This lady is just speaking her mind. And what's that?
If I can ask, can I ask why she's getting these threats?
Just because she's putting out information that they don't like, basically. Yeah, just like us, like right now. If somebody didn't like us, I don't care if they give me death threats. So you can give me death threats all you want, but for this lady, it's
You don't want this smoke.
Yeah, you don't want me and JP, bro. We're outlaws.
I'm not gonna lie. That's like full John Wick right there. But no, I'm not gonna lie. Like myself, over the last few months, I think I've got maybe like 2, maybe 3 death threats. But that was over like the course of time. I mean, if she's getting them consistently, I mean,
she did a big podcast recently and got more attention on herself, and it's so ridiculous that people are like that, man. If you don't like what somebody says, just walk away, go do something else. If it's real and it's bothering you, it's because it's a reason. Why is it bothering you if it's real? If it's not bothering you, then who cares? Like, just it's so irritating. I hate that kind of stuff. I was really looking forward to having this lady on too, and now she's got to kind of step down because of the situation. So it just it infuriates me that these idiots are ruining people's things. They're not gimmicks, but they're side gigs, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
Well, that's the issue too, right? And sorry, I don't mean to hold you guys up for too long, but that's we're
not in time rush at all.
Oh, okay, cool. That's kind of like the line.
3 minutes.
How do you? I'll make it quick.
No, I'm kidding.
I'm joking. I know. How do you draw the line between when to say that violence online or death threats should be removed, and then when it's free speech, right? So
yeah.
Well, yeah.
I'll tell you when we're done off air who this is. You might even already know this person, but it's definitely not called upon. It's just completely unnecessary bullshit.
Okay.
All right. Number 2. What 3 words would you choose to describe yourself?
These are the things I'd like to think of myself as. Doesn't mean it's true. Intuitive. I'd probably say focused and inquisitive, I guess. Yeah, I'd probably
100%.
say that.
Oh yeah,
those make
your
sense.
channel alone proves all that. You're a grinder, man. You're smart. You got a lot going for you. You got a handsome beard, man. Lovely smile. A warm painting in the background.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay. I have a dream about you tonight. You know that.
Come on, bro.
Oh, I can.
Me and David best friends now. You don't have to hate on it.
Oh, I could see it in we're locking eyes right now. It's very.
Oh yeah, dude. You feel it through the Zoom?
Oh, it's very intimate. Yeah.
It's powerful, man. You want to go camping? No, I'm just kidding. Number 3. What do you want to be remembered for?
The show. Probably.
This show?
Both mine and yours.
Okay.
Yeah.
For what you're putting out and who you are.
Pretty much what I'm putting out. More so what I'm putting out than me. Actually, I'm just trying to be like the vessel of it, right? So if I can get passionate while trying to help people or help them gain a bigger perspective, doesn't mean they have to believe or subscribe to my theories or the ideologies I put out there, but if I can just help them think outside the box, like if I could help someone think outside the box, but they think outside the box to the point where they disagree with me entirely, but they're thinking for themselves, that's all I want.
Yeah,
that's all.
Definitely. I've said it many times in this podcast. I'm a big believer that people should be doing what they're gifted to do, because I believe everybody has their own gift of what they're good at
Yeah.
and what they're supposed to be doing. And
Right.
you're definitely on the right path with that, dude. It's obvious that what you're
You're
doing is.
making my head blow up. Thank you.
Hey, I'm serious. All jokes aside, you're very gifted at what you do, and that's not easy. People don't realize. Well, I mean, most people don't realize how hard it is to do what you're doing, and to do it good is awesome. So
Thank
keep
you. I
going,
really
brother.
appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Yeah, brother.
Thank you.
Number 4. What is something you like that most people don't know about you, Dave?
Well, two things: huge animal lover, and I love sushi.
Oh my God.
Dude, you and I, bro,
guys are-
we might be meant to be.
Are you guys
I got
separated
got
at birth or what?
I have I got within my family 3 parrots,
What kind?
conures, green cheek
Oh,
conures.
cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they have give or take, no joke, like about 15 kids a year, but it's during mating season, but it's way
Yeah.
too much. We can't keep them, so I started giving them out to family. I have a big family on both sides, but then everyone, aunts, uncles, everyone took 1 each, and so now unfortunately I had to start giving them to breeders.
Nice. My ex-girlfriend and I used to raise monk parakeets, the Quakers.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, those are cool too. Dude,
Yeah.
we had one side note. This is very off subject. This is funny as hell to me though. We had one bird, a little female. Her name was Kiwi. She was so weird. At first, she hated me with a passion. Like there was nothing about me she liked. She loved my girlfriend, and she started saying "let me out" out of nowhere. Like, did she say "let me out"? It sounded like a little girl. It was creepy as shit.
Oh.
Let me out. Let me out. I was like, and she started doing all kinds of other crap, and tell her dance, she'd go dance, and she'd do all kinds of silly shit. She had a bunch of stuff she knew before we even had her, because we got her from a rescue, because I was working at the zoo at the time. So we don't know who her previous owners were, but she had a whole vocabulary that we discovered over time. Was pretty funny.
Bro, tell us how many pets you got.
Nah, bro.
Come on, just
too many.
I have 3 parrots, 2 dogs, 2 guinea pigs, and a cat. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to list what I have. It's embarrassing, but I have a lot of shit.
I also want to get an iguana, to tell you the truth too. So
that would be sweet.
I don't know how it works internationally, but I have a lot of connections. I can get you an iguana super cheap, really pretty ones.
I don't know where to start. If you could help me, I'd appreciate it.
Yeah, dude, we'll talk offline for sure. I can fill you Europe with that crap all day long.
Sure.
I used to be a reptile breeder.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Number 5, if you could have any superpower, which would you choose and why?
Probably speed, and the reason, like super speed,
like Flash or Quicksilver.
Yes, yeah, and the reason for that is because the thing about speed is that not only can you move quickly, but if you go fast enough, you can reverse time or fast forward, or I guess go back. I don't know what the specific science is in my head, but the idea is that you can use it for more than just being quick.
Yeah, right? That's cool, man. So yeah, I've seen stuff with that on like the Flash, maybe Flash or Quicksilver, going around real fast, and they can kind of back up time. It's like, and that's pretty crazy.
That's exactly what I was thinking of when they run around
walls.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that thing too, going through walls and stuff. Yeah,
that's nuts, man.
Yeah,
a good superpower. I think that's the first time we've heard speed too.
Yeah, it is. I like hearing new ones. It's nice. It's refreshing.
What do you guys normally get generally?
Flying. What's the other one? The
teleportation.
Reading minds.
Yeah, teleportation is a big one.
Yeah. Did you guys ever get invisibility or no?
Got one invisible. Last show actually was invisibility.
We've had a few of those. Yeah. Last show definitely was. Damn, I'm drawing a blank on his name. Eric Lowens, author of That Shining book's available on Amazon right now.
Yep.
He did a cool book about JFK. That's our previous episode 60.
Oh, nice. Very nice.
Yeah, he's a very decorated guy.
Was that the one I was watching? Or was it the one before? I'm trying to think.
You couldn't have watched that one because I am behind on it. I didn't release that video. I released the audio, but I didn't do the video yet. I had a little glitch, and I have to go do that tonight. So,
okay.
Everybody hearing this, this is gonna be Monday. We're recording this on Friday night. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So this will air Monday morning.
Sweet. Cool.
Okay. So number 6, last question.
Yeah.
If you know the absolute truth on one conspiracy theory, which would you choose and why?
So this one question, I had to write it down because it took me like half an hour, a couple hours ago.
I like the dedication.
When you told me you were gonna ask the questions at the end, probably I had to go with Phil Schneider, the Dolce bass.
Whoa, I don't even know what you're talking about. Do you know what he's talking about? Oh, we got to
Oh,
do another episode.
yeah, so just to bring it up super quick, apparently there was a guy, a former military personnel. There is evidence that he existed. No one knows now if he's dead. No one knows where his family went. He came out and said that he was a former U.S. Navy officer with classified access. I don't know to what level, but he helped build some of the underground military bases, and allegedly,
Ooh.
I think it was 1976. He said there was a falling out between the U.S. military and a certain faction of Nordic blondes and the gray aliens. Now, supposedly the grays are just biological probes. They're not like they're supposed to be robotic, and they serve the Nordics. But the thing about the Nordics is that they operate in different factions, and they generally rule in like a fascist kind of way. And so whatever the leader says or whatever, it's everyone else listens. But they don't have allegedly like countries like we do. They're in groups of like 50, 60, 70, you know what I mean? And they look very similar to us. And not to get off track, but there's a theory that they interbreeded with humans at one point in time. And not that we come from them, but our DNA is interbred with that. And that was actually something I mentioned on the Golden Blood episode. But anyways,
Yeah.
This guy, Phil Schneider, said there was a bit of a falling out, some type of disagreement between the Nordics and the U.S. military. And the Greys obviously follow the Nordics. And there was a falling out. There was something like, I think a dozen U.S. military members died and something like 30 Nordics.
What? We beat the
Yeah.
Nordics? No way.
I know, right? I don't know.
Wow.
Yeah, so apparently there was
Aliens aren't
that.
so smart after all.
Yeah.
Dude, that's crazy, man. Holy shit. So when you were saying that they mixed with us, is that like mankind or just some of us, some of our bloodlines might be mixed with that?
Apparently just some, which is
Okay.
why when you look
So
at
like me, not JP.
Actually,
I
would
was
say,
bright blonde as a kid. I'm a little dark now.
I think it was, what's the bloodline? It's more Eastern European, so to speak, more like those kind of more pale skinned,
Yeah.
more defined like bone structures in the whole body, stuff
Wow.
like that. Yeah.
Yeah,
dude.
I'm Mexican. I'm not that guy.
My background's Italian, so there's no way I'm even close to that.
Nice diversity on this episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
The Nordics are any ties to Anunnaki? I love Anunnaki. That's why I asked.
Yeah, good
It
question.
sounds like a similar story to where I'm sure you know the Anunnaki and the story behind them.
Oh, yeah. So I'm not going to claim I know everything about the Anunnaki. I'd like to think I know a good chunk, but the story of the Anunnaki has been so distorted. I would like to think on purpose. Connections to the Anunnaki? Probably.
Because I mean, it does sound like a similar story, right? Like the Anunnaki picked,
Yeah. And well,
wow.
our intelligence and whatnot.
Right. And that's the problem too. When you look at a lot of religious scriptures, whether it's Catholic or Muslim, whatever, they all talk about the gods from above. And I say it in my show all the time. I mean, let's call it what it is. The gods from above. They're talking about space.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when the ships come down and the lights and all that. Whether or not they're the Anunnaki or something like that, I don't know. The problem is when there's alien races that are humanoid based, it's harder to figure them out, so to speak. Assuming that we take this seriously, it's harder to differentiate between them. And what I mean by that is, as a species, it's easy to differentiate, but it's hard to pick out in the timeline in the past which ones were Nordics, which ones were Anunnakis. Was there sort of some type of interbreeding where they one in the same? You know, that's the problem.
Yeah. I mean, there's no way of really knowing, like
Not yet, at least.
We're basing it all off of, these stones with writing on them and pictures, that who really knows? It's so long ago. It's just
Exactly.
game of telephone.
It's fascinating. Really fun stuff to think about for sure.
The evidence is there. It's just a matter of trying to pick it apart and seeing what fits where. But unless we find out something that the government has or in their possession that we don't, it'll be hard to find out, right?
I want to know the true cuneiform tablets, like I know they've decrypted all of them, all 1,200 of them or whatever there is. I know
Right.
they have, and I want to know what the story is. Not just
How
the
many
Sumerian
did they
kings
say?
list,
Didn't
like
publicly?
1,200 or something like that.
Yeah, but publicly they only said they translated like
12%.
or 12. Okay,
Yeah,
12%.
12% or something like that. And I'm like, there's no
Yeah.
way. If you can
No,
read one, you can read them all, right?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Like,
exactly. Exactly.
Dang.
I agree with you 100%. 100%.
We're being withheld from that information for a reason.
yeah.
We'll know eventually.
Oh yeah, like I mentioned today in today's episode that I did, one of the reasons why the Book of Enoch is not considered original and part of the Bible is because they can't defend it or explain it in a way that they would be able to control our knowledge of it. You know.
Damn.
Mhm.
Yeah. Dude, you're a powerful guest, man. We're excited to have you as the Woke Wolfpack family.
Yeah.
Thank
Looking
you.
forward to doing another episode with you too. Let's do some
100%.
plugs and then we'll cut you loose, brother.
For sure. Thank you. Thank you.
Where can we find you and support you?
Instagram, Generation Z, Twitter, Podcast Z, and YouTube. Just type in Generation Z and you'll find me. So
Sweet.
Yep.
Where can we
Yep.
find you, JP?
TOTJP on the gram.
On the gram. Yep.
sweet.
Our Facebook, we have a Facebook page for Truth or Theory. That's public. Our Facebooks are private. That's how we stay in touch with our family, guys. Give us some space. Our Instagrams are for the podcast. We are not on Twitter. I'm at Real E Willie on Instagram, at TOTJP for JP, and on YouTube. We just started our YouTube recently, so I think we jumped in at episode 49. I'm gonna make a compilation thing of all of our cool moments from this whole year because we're about to hit a year, our first year, and put that up. I just got to contact some people for their approval to be on video since we wasn't at that time. So yeah, go to YouTube, check us out, check out Generation Z, subscribe, give us some love, give us some comments, let us know what you like and what you don't like.
Yep. Reach out to us anytime at Truth or Theory. What is it? Truth or Theory podcast at gmail.com.
Yep.
That's it.
Definitely. And Spotify, get a hold of us. We're ready to sign some checks, man.
Yeah.
For
We're ready
all
to go.
three of us.
That's it.
Thanks, man.
Thank
Stay
you,
on the
brother.
line, well, and we're going to talk to you for a second, but
For sure.
hope y'all enjoyed this episode. Woke Wolfpack. Woo, woo.